Stalagmites. Does anyone know what stalagmites and stalactites are? Yep. So these are usually found in caves underground. They are caused by water dropping consistently over time. Just to give you an idea of consistency, 1 inch of a stalagmite takes 100 years to build. I'm not saying for a moment that a brand should take 100 years to build. The point is, though, that if the water was not falling in one particular point with the same frequency and the same pressure, this would never get built up. And there are places, like I'm sure you've visited them at some point in Australia, in the US, where they have these unbelievable stalagmite and stalactite formations. Stalagmites are the ones that come up from the floor, and stalactites are the ones that come down from the roof. And there's a place, for example, in, I want to say, Virginia, called Luray Caverns. They have pillars. You can't tell where the stalagmite ends and the stalactite starts. The pillar is as big as this room in terms of width, and it goes up 200 feet. So you can imagine how long it's been there and how strong that pillar is. So the objective is that over time, you build something strong, powerful, through consistency and effort. So the road to equity, this is the roadmap. This is the roadmap. Nothing further than this. Number 1 is consumer insight. If you don't understand your consumer, everything you do is in isolation. It's like a blind man in a dark room with a bow and arrow. You may hit your consumer. You may find a need that you're trying to fill. But knowing your consumer better than your competition knows your consumer is a source of competitive advantage. It is a source of differentiation if you know your consumer well. Second, brand perception plan. Once you understand the insight, you have to put together a perception plan that you would like your consumer to believe. Then, by the way, quick diversion here. I want to introduce to you the brand funnel. This is the brainchild of Daniel Adams, who is my guru, and he's been training for about the same number of years that I've been alive. A phenomenal gentleman. This is how consumers think about brands. The brand capsule is a top-of-mind idea. And don't worry about the words so far, because we're going to go into this in a lot of detail over the next couple of days. The product characteristics. What is it that the product offers on a regular basis? The differentiators. What are the things that differentiate this brand from any other? The positioning. How do you compete? Where is it that you compete? In what category? And with what benefits? Who makes it? In case you didn't know, consumers believe that a brand is a company. So, in your case, Energizer actually comes from the Energizer company, but they don't know that shit comes from the Energizer company. Many consumers actually don't know where Mountain Dew comes from. They believe it comes from the Mountain Dew company, which it probably did about 20 years ago. Not anymore. Can anyone else give me an example? Where does... yes?
Actually, 15 years ago, Energizer didn't come from that company.
Really?
And 100 years ago, Eveready didn't come from the Eveready company.
I believe you.
It came from the Union Carbide company.
Right. We have a very good ad from Union Carbide as well. So the point is, that's how consumers view brands. They don't think like us. They're not, complicated people generally. You see a brand, you assume it's coming from that, from that company. That's it. And last but not least, the personality or the characteristics of that brand. All right. Now, once you've got your perception plan validated with consumers, you know that this is what they want. You go out and you bring it to life through a marketing mix. And the marketing mix is basically everything that a consumer touches, sees, feels, hears, or experiences. Okay? You give it investment and time. And please do not for a moment believe you can create brand equity without investment. That's like saying, I will stand on the roof of the atrium building and shout loudly at all the cars passing by. And I may even hold a placard in my hand that says Energizer, and I'll jump up and down. Because it will save the company money. Yes, but you're not really going to build much equity with that. The few people who see you might call 911. You're about to jump off the building. I don't know. There's a mentally unstable person on top of the atrium called security, right? You need to invest in it. But I can promise you this. If you follow this process, if you follow this roadmap, and this is not rocket science, you're already doing this. We're just putting words to the things you're already doing. And the reason we're doing that is because we want to give all of you the same lexicon. So that when you talk to each other, you use the same words and they mean the same things. That's all. That's the process, not rocket science. And by the way, once you started that, you go back to the consumer inside. And the cycle of life continues. Okay? So it's not like you've understood the consumer in 1984 and then you pretty much let it go. We know all consumers for all time because we did a UNA in 1984. Things change. People change. And especially in our world, the world we live in today, the rate of change, if you talk to your grandparents about it, they just shake their heads. What is this world coming to? Why do you need 300 telephones that cost 30,000 dirhams? Why do you need they even talk about cars, for crying out loud. For them, anything where you have a choice of more than one is an unnecessary choice. It's like Henry T. Ford, the genius, the man who invented the production line for the modern day car. He said you can have any color so long as it's black. You think that will fly today? You tell consumers, I'm sorry, this is the best car in the world. You can only have it in one color. Doesn't matter what that color is. Black, white, purple, or indifferent. It doesn't matter. If you don't give consumers a choice, they'll just walk away. They will just walk away. In fact, there are some cars that you can only order and then they get delivered. You can't actually go and buy them in the showroom because they're not in the showroom. They're in Italy. And they're waiting for the order so they can paint it the color you want. And put the upholstery in it that you want, etc., etc. Right? And then you can, of course, take it further than that, and you can say, oh, I want my car to look like this. And they'll build it for you. Better have $1 million or thereabouts in your bank, and they will build it for you. And they'll even get, like midgets from the Austrian Alps to do it while, beautiful women are playing music in the background. You know what I mean? So there's no limit. Even mass brands like Nike, you can actually go on a website and order customized Nikes. Freaking running shoe. But all of a sudden, it's an expression of your brand personality. The personality that is you. Right? Anyone here been to New York? Yes? How many idiots walk the streets of New York every day? Everyone has strange hair. Everyone has weird clothing, shoes. Everything is a reflection of their personality. That's kind of how you need to start thinking about your business. Every action you take, as Paul very correctly pointed out, every action you take will either build your brand equity or destroy your brand equity. There is no holding on brand equity. You're either building it or you're destroying it. There's nothing else in between.